You guys get to see my husband's shoulder and like one bicep. He's being camera shy. We're going on a date. Where are we going, babe?
Goodwill.
We're going to Goodwill. He knows how to get to this girl's heart.
Goodwills.
Oh, Goodwill's. Wow.
Plural.
This is gonna be a fun night. This is too funny, you guys. Last week, after I posted a video where I had some of these Spanish Valero goblets, someone reached out to me in email and said that they had just donated a bunch of them and that if I was interested, they'd let me know which Goodwill they donated it to. Well, guess what? Looks like I found it. Baskets are one of the things I'm always looking for, and I think this might look really great in my guest bathroom with my hand towels. I know I just bought one a few weeks ago for that, but I am all about upgrading and I'm really digging the shape on this one. And I think this color is going to look a little bit better with more contrast, and it's only $4.99. Pretty sure that this is an ashtray. I've seen these before at antique stores and usually they are labeled as an ashtray or an incense burner. This looks like a fun piece of studio pottery. It is only $2.99 and oh, it's a coffee mug. I didn't realize that. I think I'm gonna pass. This one has some nice height and shape on it. It is only $3.99 and also made in China. I'm always on the hunt for copper. This is a nice large size, $3.99, definitely grabbing this one. I'm pretty sure this is a Bennett Welsh piece. You can see the bottom part of the Welsh signature right there. These pieces sell for anywhere from $60 to $80 online. What do you think of this, babe? Would that look good in our house? It's vintage, 1979.
I think it would look good in the bedroom.
Right above the bed.
Like on the ceiling.
No. I don't have a bag back here, so we're putting this in the kitty litter box. We only found a couple things at that Goodwill, so now we're here at the Cornell Goodwill and we'll see what we find inside there. I think I'm actually going to take a little bit of time and look for some clothes because usually I'm just thrifting for resale for my vintage shop. And today I think I'm going to look for some clothes for myself. Okay, help me out. What on earth is this? All I can think of is that it looks like it's a tie to go on a wine bottle. Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Please tell me what this is, you guys. These are so tempting for me. These are my favorite Mexican pottery pieces to collect, but I already have a couple of them and they are just so fragile for shipping. If I was selling at a flea market, I would grab them in a heartbeat, but I'm gonna leave them for someone else. This looks like it is an authentic Cantha quilt. It is only $7.99 and it's got beautiful coloring in it. I'm not really loving the side that has the shells, but this side is very beautiful. My friend Michelle has given me a couple of these over the years for Christmas presents, and I think this one would also make a very, very beautiful tablecloth. All of this detail is hand stitched, amazing quality pieces. Whenever I find something like this, I always make sure to look extra good down all of the other aisles because most of the time people donate things together, and if there's one good piece here, there could be another. So we are on a date night and I am on the hunt for a few pieces of clothing for myself. I really like to find things that are great for layering in the summertime because sometimes it's a little chilly in the morning and you want to have something on, but you don't want a sweater or a coat. And I think this would be perfect. Can we have a moment for this amazing 1970s print? This piece is fantastic. I'm definitely getting this and it will be up for grabs in my next sale. And of course, Jessie found something too. I'm trying to decide how fake this tree looks from here. If it was in a different pot, if you're only seeing like that, does it look absolutely fake or just like 30% fake? That one's missing his noggin.
His noggin?
Oh yeah,
Noggin's a head. It's missing his snout.
He's missing his snout. That's what I meant.
They almost look like the Robert Maxwell, like
yeah,
critters
a little
thing.
bit, tiny bit.
Yeah. I mean, they're not.
Look at you dropping names, Robert Maxwell.
Name dropping. Yeah, you know my boy Rob. R-Max.
These are heavy cast metal candle holders. They are $2.99 each, and it does look like there is an artist signature there on the bottom. I'm not familiar with this exact shape or design, but they are pretty fantastic pieces. And for $2.99 a piece, I'm definitely going to grab both of these. And then I will do what I always do, and what every vintage reseller does, is you go home and you sit on Google for about 2 hours every night. These shelves are normally a lot fuller at this Goodwill. They must have recently done some kind of a clear out, which isn't always a bad thing because it does mean that they are clearing out stuff that's been there for a long time and putting out the new stuff. Here you go, your girl's getting some brown. These are only 99 cents, and I love these carved wood trivets. They make beautiful decorations in a kitchen, and they're also functional. This dude is fantastic, but he's got quite a few chips on him. $12.99. I think I'm gonna pass because of the chips. But here is a stunning candle holder made out of the same marble for $12.99, and there happens to be a pair. Always get them when there's a pair. I think one thing I have enough of at home right now are trinket boxes. This one's really fun, and yet I still feel like one can never have enough trinket dishes. This one's an interesting piece. It says 2409 on the bottom. It is $7.99, and I think I'm gonna grab it because I've been really into sculptural pieces lately, and this type of stuff sells really well as a reseller. I just recently told you guys that calla lilies are one of my favorite flowers. This is some kind of a matte glass vase that has been hand painted, and it's only $4.99. I think this would be beautiful in a bohemian setting, especially if you had real calla lilies coming out of the top. Typically, I don't pick up these clocks unless they have more modern hands on them, but this is such a great deal, and even if I invest a few dollars and buy a new battery pack off Amazon, I should be able to make some really good profit margins on that one. Blue Mountain Pottery Bear, yes, you're going in the cart. Here is a planter. It looks like this one is a swan. I'm gonna put that in the cart because I don't realize it has a big chip and I put it back. Brass birdie. This is one of the best new carts that has rolled out in a long time. I felt like I just kept grabbing everything, and I kind of felt bad because she was waiting for me to go through the cart before she put away everything. And I guess I could look at it like I'm helping her, less stuff to put away. Not a bad haul for this Goodwill. Let's hit one more thrift store and then we'll call it a day. This is a very interesting piece. It looks like the bottom section comes out. So I'm gonna see what happens when I pull that out. It is so hard to do all of this when I'm filming with one hand. So we will see what's in here in just a second. And it's a bag full of potpourri. That was unexpected. I'm not gonna lie, out of everything that I thought was gonna be in there, I did not think it was gonna be a potpourri bag. I guess it makes sense. That's where the smell comes out. Vintage leather fry boots. These boots typically retail for $300 to $400 and they are $30. When I got these home, I tried them on. They fit me perfectly, which means I'm sorry they're not coming to my sale, but it does mean that I'm gonna let my other brown pair lace-up boots go. So keep an eye out for those. All right, we are not calling it a day. We are gonna dig for an hour through some scrap and I'm gonna find so many goodies. You guys, I'm so excited to share all of the things that I found digging through this pile and through this giant bag full of scrap that was gonna get melted. I spent about an hour digging and I saved quite a few amazing pieces and I can't wait to share more on that at the end of the episode. I had a great time thrifting with Jesse, my husband. It's always fun to go with him because he's funny. He's a funny guy. It's probably one of the main reasons I married him, and we have a blast together. We look at very different things, which is kind of nice. So a lot of times we end up splitting up, and I go look for things for the vintage shop, and he looks for throwback blazers, t-shirts, and band t-shirts, and things he's into. Sometimes he's looking at the electronics. So it's always fun when we get back together at the end of the Goodwill trip and see what each other found. Usually my stuff is mostly for resale, and he always finds the coolest games. I'm from a huge family and we're all gamers, and so it can get expensive when you're buying new board games to play, and we're always trying to find something new to play. So Goodwill is a great place to find a bargain deal on games, especially throwback ones. Before we dive into all of the Goodwill finds, I've got to show you guys what I found at the Portland Flea Market with my husband on Sunday. Legs for something?
They came off of a coffee table.
Oh,
big
wow.
Top, the top got all messed up. I was like, somebody will get creative with the legs.
Oh yeah, these would be amazing on a wall.
Can
you imagine those on a wall as like towel hooks? Here it is. It is a real, authentic Native American squash blossom necklace, and you're not going to believe what I paid for it. I got this beauty for only $48. I am so darn excited about this piece, and this one is really wonderful too because of the size. A lot of times squash blossom necklaces are really heavy because of the solid sterling and all of the big turquoise stones, and this one has a ton of beautiful petite little stones, and it's a nice size and it's nice and lightweight, so it's easy to wear. And I know you're wondering, am I going to be selling it? And the answer is I am. I found my dream squash blossom with Sleeping Beauty turquoise, which is a really bright blue turquoise. In fact, I actually have a Sleeping Beauty turquoise piece in my hand. So you can see the difference between the turquoise colored stones. These are very green ones. These are a little bit more your common turquoise color you would see. And then that is Sleeping Beauty turquoise. So I am in love with the piece that I found on the Nebraska junk jaunt, and I'm never going to part with that one. So that means that this beauty is going to be up for grabs in my sale this Friday, June 4th. And all of my sales launch the first Friday of each month at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And this Sleeping Beauty piece is going to be up for grabs too. In fact, this is going to be my very biggest sale launch that I've ever had. I'm going to have over 100 pieces of jewelry. I'm so excited to share with you guys what I've been finding this month. I have been hitting the road, hitting the ground, hitting the pavement, all of those things, and I've got some amazing stuff coming. The Portland Flea Market is my favorite flea market in Portland, and it's mostly because I actually sold at it for 4 years. So this is a really great flea market to sell at if you are local in Portland and you're not quite sure if you want to get a vintage mall space and commit to the monthly payments of that. I think a flea market is the perfect starting spot because usually you can get in for anywhere from $25 to $100 depending on the flea market. So it's a low one-time cost investment. And if you bring lots of stuff, I'm pretty confident you're going to make triple, quadruple, or 10 times that amount back that same day. The first thing that I did after I found this necklace was take it to my local jeweler friend and get it authenticated. And it really truly is an authentic squash blossom. It was made out of coin silver that was melted down, and it really is from the 1940s or 50s. Recently at a different Goodwill, I picked up a woven basket that I thought was going to be beautiful for my hand towels, and it was, and I really liked it. But this is what you call an upgrade. So now that I came across this piece, I've decided that I want to use this to put my hand towels in my guest bathroom instead of the other one. So that one will be up for grabs in my next shop sale. I think that this one's going to add a lot more warmth to that space because it's got this darker, rich brown. And I don't know if you can even tell, but these are actually metal. They are not woven wicker pieces. So I thought this was really fun, and it was only $4.99. And the cool part is after I fold all of my laundry, I can put my towels on here and just pick this up, carry it straight to the bathroom. After a while, you start to really recognize signatures on pottery and on different pieces because you've seen them over and over again, whether it's because you collect them yourself or because you're seeing them in vintage malls when you're looking at pieces that are valuable, which is always a tip. Go to vintage malls and check out other pieces to find out what's selling, what's hot, and what is valuable. When I flipped this over, I only saw a tiny bit of the signature down there, and I knew it was a Bennett Welsh, who is a Pacific Northwest potter that I collect. I have a collection started at my house, but this is not the pattern that I collect. It is a beautiful 1970s canister, and this one's going to be up for grabs on Friday too. I wish that this was a real shoe that I could wear. I feel like a brass shoe would be very heavy and very uncomfortable, but look at how beautiful this shoe is. Now this is an ashtray, but I'm pretty sure that you could use this as an incense holder too. I'm gonna try sticking the stick under here and seeing if it can kind of catch on that lip. I don't know, we'll try it out at home and we'll see what happens. So the verdict is it will work just fine for an incense burner. However, you don't want it to just land on the table. So here's what I use. These are both pieces I thrifted at Goodwill's, I think for $1 each. And since I am a maximalist and more is more, I think layering it would be great. Then you don't have to worry about this getting all over your table. And I'll show you guys my favorite incense burner that I use. This beautiful hand. See, apparently I have a thing for feet and hands. But this is a beautiful antique one, and I love it so much. The only problem is my favorite incense sticks are too thick to go in there, so I have to put those in here when I'm wanting to burn those ones. And then I have some little skinny ones that I put in here. But isn't this magnificent? So good, so good. Yeah, I would totally wear a brass shoe if I could. There are certain things that always sell well, and brass and copper are two of them. I especially love this because it has the hammered copper look. There are so many people that collect old copper for their homes. I think it's always a good investment if you can get a great deal on it. This one was only $3.99. I don't go to Goodwill's in the evenings very often. I think it's because it's my full-time job, and I do my work during the business hour days like most of you guys. And so in the evening time, that's when when I'm at home, and that's when I'm decompressing. So going on little dates every once in a while with my husband is really fun. And one thing that's really great is they do put out a lot of the new stuff in the evenings. And when they rolled out this cart, I saw her coming down the aisle and I spotted this bear. And I got really excited because I could tell there was going to be quite a few good things in that new cart that was rolling out. So like a little vulture, I waited at the end cap until she was stopped rolling it. I even asked her to make sure it was okay to start digging, and then I went for it. This is a Blue Mountain Pottery bear, and I can't believe it's in such perfect condition. Unfortunately, the Swan one had a really large chip, so I did put that one back, but I did get a few more good things in there too. This reminds me of one that I got for my mom for Mother's Day maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and that one was actually a copper one, and it had an opening right here, so it was made to be a planter. She still has it in her kitchen with a little plant coming out of it. I think these brass figurines are so fun to decorate with, and they do sell really well for those of you who are resellers. I used to have a vintage mall space for quite a few years that had an entire shelf full of brass figurines, and it seemed like those were some of the best sellers in my entire space. They're just one of those classic pieces in decorating, and I love birds, so you can't go wrong with birds. You might have been a little bit surprised when I picked up these brass fish bookends, but I got them because I don't always just buy things for myself, and I feel like this would be the perfect Father's Day gift, and it's kind of coming around the corner. I also really love onyx stone, so the fact that they were mounted for the extra weight to the onyx instead of it being just a painted wooden block, I thought was really cool. And more people are working from home these days, so that's another thing to think about if you're a reseller. Start thinking about picking up pieces that people would use to decorate their office spaces, because I have a feeling in the next year or two a lot more people are going to be investing to make their office a space that they really love to be in, not just a workspace. These guys are surprisingly heavy. These remind me of the pair of bookends that I picked up on my Tri-Cities trip last fall. Do any of you guys remember those? I still have not found out who the designer was on those, but I am convinced that they are a mid-century era designer. And I think that it's possible that these could be too. They do have a signature there on the bottom. It is a G stamp into the cast metal. And I haven't been able to find out much online. I probably spent an hour trying to figure out what I could find. Oh, and I just realized I keep saying bookends because they're so heavy and they look like bookends, but they're actually candle holders. They're candle holders that could be used as bookends, just don't light the candle while they're holding your books, because that might be a recipe for a disaster. Anywho, they were $2.99 each, so $6 for the pair, and I think they're pretty fabulous. They have that very brutalist style that I'm always into. I love these wooden trivets. These are made in India, and they have the most beautiful designs cut out into them. A lot of times you will see these with very similar designs that you see in the woodblock stamps that are for fabric or for wallpaper. So I think that's really cool when you can get this beautiful detailed design cut out in the carved wood. I always pick these up even though they're not that valuable because I think they're really beautiful in a kitchen. The wood warms up the space, and these are so functional because you can use them as your hot pad trivets, but you can also have them displayed on the backsplash or leaned up on a shelf, and it gives a little bit of dimension and texture, and I just love that layered look. So I love picking these up because, again, functional and beautiful. That's a win-win. It's really, really hard not to want to keep everything, and it's going to take everything inside of me to sell these marble candle holders. They're seriously so beautiful, and I'm committing right now on camera to you guys, I'm going to sell these in my sale. I don't want to, but I probably have 10 pairs of candle holders and I don't need any more. But before I sell them, I'm going to have a little bit of fun decorating, and I'm going to show you guys a cute little vignette with these beauties. You're going to have to use your imaginations here with me. I completely forgot that all of my candles are at the Vancouver house. I've been using them for staging since we had to get that house on the market. So you're just gonna have to use your imaginations, picture beautiful white candles with a glowing flame by the ocean. It would be real beautiful. Also, can you believe that my Christmas cactus start, this is literally just a clipping, is flowering right now in June. I don't know what's going on. My other Christmas cactus at home is flowering too. It's so weird. When I spotted this elephant piece, What would you think that this is for? I don't know about you guys, but the first thing that I thought of was these little tiny fondue forks. I felt like they would fit perfectly in that hole. So I was very surprised when I opened up the bottom and I pulled out the potpourri and realized that the holes were for the scent to come out. And the bottom slides open, and that is where you put your bag of potpourri. Check this out. My cute little 50-cent garage sale fondue forks fit perfectly. They totally fit in here. Look at that. So I will not be using it for my fondue forks because I already have this sweet little mid-century one that I got for 50 cents at a garage sale. I think I already told you that. But 50 cents at a garage sale. All right, that is a wrap for today's episode. I hope you guys had fun hanging out with me today and getting to go on a little bit of a date night with my husband. He's still really camera shy, so I'm still working on him. It takes a while. For those of you who have followed me here for a long time, you know that I used to be terrified of being on camera. And if I even stop to think about it now, I still am. So I'm going to ease him into it, and hopefully you'll get to see a little bit more of him pretty soon because he's pretty amazing. I'm pretty lucky. All right, I'm going to leave you guys here today with a trailer for some of the beautiful vintage items I have found this month that are coming to my sale, and I will see you guys in a brand new episode soon.